So you don't need to be an incredible guitar player to get really cool guitar parts for your house music. I'm gonna show you how. What is up, y'all? It is your boy Kirk here, aka Vandal. We're in here in the studio, and I'm gonna show you through my track, Honest, how a mediocre guitar player like me can actually make a pretty cool guitar line as you listen to the whole track. So let's get into it. So let's listen to this guitar part here. We talked about the bass last video and the rhythm section. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out. I'm gonna move this bass back down. Okay, cool. So let's listen to the guitars here really quick. Okay, so I admit, they probably sound pretty trashy by themselves, but when you put them in the context of the track, they actually sound pretty good. So here's the thing. Guitars, I am not going to claim to be really incredible at playing guitar, but I do know how to get sort of close to the sound that I want, without hiring a guitar player. So let me show you what I did in this track, Honest. If you haven't heard it already, check it out in the description below. So here, let's break down the sections really quick. I have a chord section right here, which is just playing the chords of the drop. Now, I'm not the best guitar player, right? So I had to go in here and cut out all of this stuff. Now, if you heard all the stuff that was actually here, it was actually really bad guitar playing. But I also did that because if you listen to the last video, I wanted to make sure that everything had its own place, and it was a very punchy, very tight sounding track all together. So I have that, and then I have like little hammer-ons and stuff like that to help it sound a little bit more funky. Okay. Alright, so that's the base of everything, which is the chords in the drop. And then also we've got this pluck right here. Which is honestly like, I think it was like an accident that I kept and just repeated it. So it's this one thing that I was trying to play a chord or one note and rake all of the strings at the same time to get that kind of funky sound that everyone who's really good at guitar does. And that's kind of what I did. I found that and I kept that in there, and I used it as a layer to keep the energy up. And then I also have this right here, which is just a guitar line. And I was alternating using these muted kind of picks as well. And I had a setting on my HX Stomp to help me get that really cool 80s tone. And I have this as well, another pluck, which is more of a counter melody. And then we have, this is one that I actually named Counter. So a lot of times, and there's all these plucks, all these layers on top to make it sound a little bit more interesting. Now, all those things together help it feel a little bit more cohesive. Now, I know they're not, now individually, and when you solo them, they don't sound that great, but let's listen to them within the context of the music here. So I've got the synths as well. Let's go ahead and keep the bass in. I'm going to keep the drums out. Yeah, I'm going to keep the drums out for this so that you could just hear just the musical elements minus the drums, what it sounds like. Now let's go ahead and mute those guitars. Not as much energy, right? So now let's play the guitars again. What they're doing is serving a purpose in the high end there. So now let's go ahead and mute these. Right, and then So yeah, so it's actually giving a lift to the track. So if you're not a guitar player and you have a hard time kind of writing these parts, I would suggest the first thing that y'all could do, and I could even make a video about this, kind of walking through at least what I know. Like I said, I am not a professional guitar player. I do not claim to be a guitar player. I only play guitar well enough to play on my tracks. So I could show you a video of how I kind of like navigated and played these parts, but I wanted to show you what these parts were broken down so you could see like on the back end what they were doing. Now, writing guitars, for a person that doesn't know how to write guitars, you gotta kind of think about how somebody's gonna play it. Like, I don't play drums, but I write drums like as if a drummer would play them. So another thing that you could do is learn how to play open chords. Now, the open G shapes are super easy. I can walk through the way to do that. I'd have to like learn it a little bit better to be able to teach it to you, but let me know in the comments below if you want me to make a video, and like this video too. It's going to help the algorithm. Writing these parts wasn't too hard. I broke it down piece by piece, and I played the chords, and then I added like all these little like extra things where I honestly was just experimenting to get it to sound good. And that's the way that I write guitars, and that's the way I think guitarists or people who don't play guitars could actually write good guitar parts. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button below, subscribe if you want more content like this. I will walk through more of this track in the next video. Peace.